Hello there, this is Michael or Mikhail speaking, and today is Wednesday, February 22, 2023. As you know, we are getting very close to the adversity of this terrible war. Let's all wish peaceful skies over Russia and Ukraine. Now, without wasting your precious time, let's jump straight to Bakhmut and review what have changed over a day. This is the situation of yesterday, and now you can see situation of today. Again, this map is few days late, so you can kind of understand why it's being slowly updated, but I like to update when the facts are already there. So here we go. As you can see, Russia had major success on this front. They are very close to Dubovo-Vasiliivka. They are about to capture this whole hill right here that overlooks Dubovo-Vasiliivka. Russians have actually captured about 45% of Berihivka, and there are reports of heavy fighting in this area as well. As you can see by the gray area right here, this is probably a contested territory or Russia's claimed territory. So we can sort of understand a picture of what's happening, and the red one right here represents what Russia had already took and it was confirmed. As you can see, Russians are still attacking towards Yehidne. There are reports that Yehidne is captured, so Russians are probably fighting south of Yehidne, somewhere in this area. Again, here is the hill, so Russians would have hard time attacking on this field because hill overlooks it. And so Russians, I believe, will attack towards Dubovo-Vasiliivka to capture this hill right here and overlook positions of Ukrainians on this hill. Now, to talk about the situation on this front. At most, there are Wagner groups that are fighting in Bakhmut, as they are more combat effective and more experienced. The problem is that there is ongoing conflict between the leader of Wagner group, Prigozhin, and the Minister of Defense of Russia, Shoigu. He is sabotaging through his ministers and commanders, and Wagner groups are not getting the needed ammunition for these offensives. For reasons obvious to some, pro-Ukrainian bloggers are glorifying this war to an extent which gets extremely ridiculous. They are reporting that Russians are losing somewhere from 500 to 1,000 people a day on this front. However, from the information that I've received, Russia had lost somewhere around 60 to 100 in the last 3 days. And some Wagner soldiers had stated that this is mostly due because they don't have enough equipment. Again, they are sabotaged from the rear. So I believe if not for the Prigozhin-Shoigu conflict, Wagner would have much more success on this axis, as they had already stormed much more difficult positions and had accomplished victories. However, Ukrainians are standing strong. They are extremely motivated to defend this axis, as I was being told and checked myself, that this bridge right here somewhere was destroyed. When Russians came extremely close to this road right here, I will demonstrate you. This is 12th of February. As you can see, this is the closest Russia got to this road. So when Russians came very close to this road, Ukrainians blew up the bridge, making this whole road unoperational. So now Ukrainians have the only road of retreat, and this is the main attack of Russian armies. If Ukrainians are to be defeated north of Bakhmut in this general area, this would actually mean the end of Bakhmut itself. This would mean operational encirclement, and Ukrainians will retreat from Bakhmut. In the city itself, we can see some developments as well. Russians had captured few city blocks, particularly you can see here. Like I said in the previous videos, as long as this front stands, Ukrainian will defend this side of the city for as far as they can, and when the situation would look way too grim, they will retreat back to the river line. Hey, if you enjoy videos so far, would you mind liking, subscribing, and commenting, as it is very good for algorithms and would overall make my day so much better and so much brighter. Thank you in advance, and I hope you have a good day. There are no changes in Avdiivka. You can see there are no changes on the map. However, by the arrows here, you can see that Russians are continuously attacking. But again, I believe that their ineffectiveness when it comes to attack comes from logistical problem, which Russia is trying to solve. You have to understand that both Russians and Ukrainians are exchanging artillery attacks and strikes on their supply depots and hubs, which is crucial for any war. So both Ukrainians and Russians have problems with supply. That's why Russian troops, despite having trouble in supply, are still advancing further and further. Ukrainians are not in the good position as well. The only positive thing they can get is that they are on the defensive. As you can see, no changes in Mariinka, but once again by the arrows you can see that there are attacks and heavy fighting. No changes in Vuhledar. I heard reports that Russians had stopped any attacks on this front altogether. Nothing's happening towards Arikhiv. Again, Russians are attacking, but nothing is changed. Same goes with Seversk and Liman. As you can see, there are no changes on the map. The gray area has not moved, but Russians are attacking, especially from these directions, from Mykolaiivka towards Razdalivka and from Saka-Ivanseti towards this settlement right here. We can see that Russians here are again widening their front, making it easier to operate logistically, and overall their directions are to capture Razdalivka, and like I said before, they will probably capture these settlements one by one and slowly advance towards Seversk. Again, there are heavy fighting in the forested area, and here Russia had not seen success here for a few days now, but I believe Russians are pushing strong and Ukrainians are defending strong, and we just have to see who will come on top as a victor. There are also no changes at Kupiansk front. Again, as you can see by the arrow, Russians are attacking, but they have not seen any success. I think the reason why we only see changes is in Bakhmut is because there are Wagner group that is fighting there, and on the rest of the front it is regular Russian army, which is a bit undersupplied and not as professional as Wagner groups. So that's why I think the time is on Russian side. They will mobilize more troops, mobilize its economy and industry, and Ukrainians, fortunately or unfortunately, will not stand a chance. So this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoy it. Now please understand that I don't support this war. I don't support murder of innocent civilians. I do understand politics behind what's happening in Ukraine, but it breaks my heart to see regular people's life being destroyed. So please don't glorify this war. Hope you will understand my situation and why I feel so negative about this war. I don't like to see my own people being killed. Thank you in advance, and always remember, Russia will be free.